If you are wearing a mask, you can build as much confidence as you want. It will never truly be yours. Let me explain. Wearing a mask or masking is a phenomenon which occurs when a person is starting to suppress their naturally occurring traits to conform to social pressures because they're being abused, harassed, rejected, or having any kind of negative experience with the outside world. For example, I was bullied throughout my teenage years, and subconsciously I must have thought, okay, if I present these people with another version of me, a mask, they might like this version of me more. That would be a version that is more people-pleasing, more successful, that is more beautiful, especially on the outside. I created and crafted that version and presented it to them, and for a lot of times it worked. They did hate me a little bit less, and I did fit in a little bit more. The thing is, the mask didn't just fall off when I got home, and it didn't fall off even when I graduated from that school. It stayed with me, but it never made me confident. Why? Because this was not the real version of me. So maybe you like this mask. You think she is an awesome person. How do I know if you will like me? I am not like her. I am different. Will you like me? That is something that I can never be sure about. I am in doubt. In fact, I am in self-doubt. Well, my mask didn't come off suddenly, but I definitely felt it slipping quite a few times. I had a boyfriend who was very dominant. He loved to talk about himself, and definitely he was an interesting person who had a lot to say, but I also have a lot to say. The thing is, he had so much to say, he would never let me speak, he wouldn't ask for my opinion, and in fact, I didn't even tell him that I have an opinion because I wanted to accommodate him. So for some time, we were really in love. It was great. And then suddenly, I left him. And he was completely heartbroken because he had no idea why. I had shown him no indication to why this would happen. And to be honest, I had no idea why either. It was just the real me behind my mask screaming, "This is not what I am meant for." I didn't learn from my mistake back then, but I felt something for sure that I had never felt before. And that was this unquenchable desire to do what I want, when I want, and find deep love, connection, and acceptance for it. And that took me on a quest, consciously and subconsciously, that also took me through my therapist, that helped me to finally start taking off my mask and being my true self with you, for example. Hello, it's me. I am an imperfect human, and I have 3 steps for you to start building actual, true self-confidence. The first one is acceptance, and that is definitely a long process. Acceptance just means that you see all the good and bad parts of you, and you see them for what they are, and you say, yeah, this is how it is. It doesn't mean being complacent. It doesn't mean if you spend 12 hours a day on your phone and you accept it, that you are okay with it. You can still decide to change it. But now that you have accepted it, it is real and you can do something about it. Step number 2 is authentic expression, which just means you're going out in the world and showing up as your true self and standing behind that. It doesn't mean you're doing a power pose or you're hyping yourself up with some music, because those are techniques that they do work for individual occasions. Like if you need to hold a presentation once, it works. But if we're talking about confidence in everyday life, in something that you're going to do more often, then that confidence cannot come from a power pose. It needs to come from within here. And for that, you need to be vulnerable. Confident people don't go into social situations or in business expecting not to fail. They go in that social situation knowing that not everyone will like them, but that's okay because it's worth it, because the people who do like them will vibe with their real self and it will be amazing. The people who do business don't go so they will never fail. They expect to fail, but they think that they will bring out something into the world that they really feel inside, that they really want to create, and that's worth it also. You will definitely be wounded by the world, but it's about how we are going to deal with that. Because failure is just a statistic reality. It is not something to avoid at all costs, especially if you want to live a life that is honest to yourself. The third step is resilience. As I said, you're going to fail many times. That is an absolute certainty. So you might as well fail while being yourself, because you can fail at making those fake friends. You can fail at getting that love from people that you don't really care about. You can fail at that dream job that your parents picked out for you. Isn't it so much better to fail at something that you really care about? And of course, the mask was there to protect you from failure, rejection, harassment, abuse in the first place. So those are the things that we need to get comfortable with in order to heal it. And slowly, this is the process that is gonna go. You accept yourself, you show that to the world vulnerably. Whatever happens, positive or negative, you go into that resilience and you find the strength. Might be different techniques for you to go back out there and be vulnerable again. But this time, it's going to be that little bit easier to accept whatever outcome comes out of there. You go again, you go again, you go again. At some point, you will accept yourself so much that no matter what happens, you'll be like, well, that's me. That's just who I am. And if you're not okay with that, that's absolutely fine. I accept myself. So there will no longer be a need to be resilient because you will just accept yourself so well and you will be so confident that you will just live your honest self and you will fail at the things you really care about. And you want to hear something really cool? You have already done this and you probably looked something like this. Remember when you didn't care if you were screaming too loud on the playground or if you took someone's things and they were weird about it? Remember when you didn't care what you said? Well, neither do I, but that's you before you cared about putting on a show for anyone else. And I want this to be a reminder of you. Confidence is already inside you. Now, I think that is a really important lesson to learn. But if you also want to learn some practical tips on how to take care of yourself and form that resilience, I think this video will be really good and interesting for you. Hello, universe. I hope you are doing well. I believe in you. You can do this. Show me who you really are. Be brave. Let me out. You are meant for awesome things.